Hello everyone, I am Complex and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be covering my CSGO investing spreadsheet version 4.0. I can't believe it's almost been a year since version 3 released, so I decided it's about time to update the spreadsheet once again. While this version adds a few new features, this spreadsheet focuses on simplicity compared to the previous versions that I released. Especially if you're using a previous version, please watch the entire video for version changes before you decide to make the switch. This video will not be that long, and I'm going to try to get the information to you as straight as possible. I'll be answering questions in the comments and my Discord below, so feel free to ask any questions about this spreadsheet, about the version changes, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. This video will be divided into two parts. First, I'll be going through a tutorial of the spreadsheet outlining any changes from the previous versions. And second, I'm going to demonstrate a little bit of the effectiveness and usefulness of filters when using the spreadsheet. It's something that I use a lot, and you can just become more efficient and stop hassling through going through about 1,000,000 columns just looking for data. Use a filter and you get exactly what you're looking for. Before I hop into the video, as always, the download link is in the description for either my spreadsheet guide CSGO folder or the actual link to the spreadsheet itself. For the first time, we actually support Euro. So if you are interested in my Euro version, make sure you head over and download that workbook. It is completely ready to go. You type in your prices and it is hooked up. Right now, my version does have decimals, but that's an actual Excel feature. Look, if you have decimal points and you want commas on Google, it'll take 2 minutes. It's actually in your options and you just have to switch it over. It takes 2 minutes. Everything else is Euro supported in this workbook. In my tutorial, I'm going to be going through the USD, so I'm going to be closing out of it right now. For the actual tutorial, we have completely redone the intro page. The last intro page was a little bit cluttered and I want to streamline this as much as I can. We have the key that we have used throughout versions 1.0 to now, where light blue is you cannot edit those columns. Those columns are there to essentially protect you from destroying the formulas that make this workbook happen. So for an example, and this will lead into our tutorial, we are buying an AK-47 fuel injector in this hypothetical situation, and it's a 0.071 float. The spreadsheet knows it's been where if you try to double click anywhere in this column, it is going to give you an error. There is nothing wrong with that. That is how the spreadsheet works. I know when I work on these spreadsheets unlocked all the time and I'm copying and pasting values into my spreadsheet, I paste it in this column and it destroys the column. Now it doesn't work. It affects the rest of my spreadsheet. This is done to protect the integrity of the spreadsheet. Light gray, as I inputted in items purchased in float, you are allowed to edit everything in those cells. That's where you type, that's where you input all the data that you're looking for. But some of those are optional. Paint seeds, stickers, you do not have to put values in these columns. These are really for personal use. If you want to later filter by stickers, if you want to know the paint seeds and have easy access to that, feel free to use these. But if you're not interested in stickers on weapons, or you did not buy a weapon because it had a 3-cent sticker on it, feel free to just skip over that and go to the next column and input that data. Heading back over to the intro before we kind of finish off that tutorial, feel free to read through the instructions, buying checklist, and statistics info. That is going to basically be a text version of what I am going through in this video. I changed it from the previous format where it's a little paragraph to just a few bullet points here. Get the main ideas and just get working in the spreadsheet. Finishing up the tutorial on skins, we have pretty much everything the same. You have your buy date, you have your buy market, your buy amount, and your individual buy price. So without spending again too much time, you put a date of 1/1/2020. It's gonna be a while ago. You buy it from Steam, you buy one item and you buy it for $55. I don't know if that's accurate or not, but for the sake of this example, you do that. It'll give you your total cost in the min Steam sale price. So this is if you sold it on Steam with that 15% Steam tax that it gives you off, you need to sell it at $64.71 to make it back. So that's what min Steam sale price is. Obviously, you may not sell it on Steam, but just to give some, idea of what break-even price is for most websites, that's what you're looking for. Then you go into the sale date. And most of this is the same, but you may notice if you use version 3.0 and any of the previous version, I deleted the fees column, the fees and listed price. Those have now all combined into the individual sale price where you just put in how much you earned. The biggest issue I heard back from these is if you didn't sell it on Steam, you didn't have a fee. So everyone was changing it to 0. And so it was a waste of a column and you just had to input more data. So even if you sell on Steam, input what you got. So after they take your taxes out, put in that you got, $64.71 after taxes. Do that then. So that will just get rid of a few columns and get rid of a little bit of the data entries, and that will help you out. And then the rest is calculated for you. I'm not going to input any more into this spreadsheet because I'm actually going to be using my own spreadsheet to demonstrate some of the filters later on. So it is very easy to input data. It obviously will take a little bit of time to get caught up if you're inputting all your previous skins and transactions into the spreadsheet. But once you're caught up, it takes about 30 seconds to input a new item. And once you have multiple, you get really fast at it and it doesn't take time. And it's great to check back on your inventory when you don't want to load the game and you want to sort by stuff like pattern ID, which CSGO can't do for you on its own. In consumables, it is the exact same. The only thing that has changed in this tab is the individual sale price, getting rid of those fee columns. So as the previous sheet, you input your items purchased, you input your buy information, you input your sales information, and the rest is done for you. I will mention, you guys see all these categories. If you have not used the spreadsheet before, leave these categories on the left-hand side. It's actually not required anymore in this version. That is one of the nice things. But if you delete it, you're going to forget what they're called. You're going to mistype them. So just leave them down. If you're inputting something and it's not an autograph capsule, copy and paste, move them down a little bit, then you could delete them off here and start your entries and put it in correctly. This just helps so you know exactly what the categories are. It's really nice to actually have them here. For skins and agents, it's a little bit easier since there's only 2 of them, but I definitely recommend just leaving these in the spreadsheet at all times and just moving them down a little bit. That's all for consumables. For buying checklists, it is the exact same. I didn't actually change this tab, so definitely feel free to check out my previous tutorial. You put in the item and you put in the amount desired. It's that simple. The item options that you want to put in are all these different things in the column here. So if you want to search by autographs, either if they're paper, foil, gold, or all those different item categories that I just mentioned that you put in over here, you can do that. Or you can just search for a specific item. So if you wanted a Nico gold sticker from Boston, you can put that in here too. And it'll count up exactly how many of them you bought. The only thing I didn't mention previously, input the start of the operation or the major date. As you're making this checklist, I know a lot of people like to plan super early. Some people are planning like 3 months out and they're like, I want to buy 100 Navis, I want to buy 100 Cloud9s. Put in a general amount so it doesn't factor in the items you bought previously. So say you have a date in, I know we just finished a recent major, but say it's 8/1/2023. That's the second major. That'll be the CS2 major sometime around there. And a few months later, you really planned early. You realize, hey, it's going to be 8/15. Just change the date. It'll redo all the calculations automatically, and you'll be good to go. That is the buying checklist. And now perhaps the most changed page and what I really spent time getting it more simplified, and because it has a lot of unneeded data, honestly, is the statistics page. You'll notice I got rid of tons of the graphs, and I will show you what this looks like on my version because these graphs really don't look like much when there's nothing in the spreadsheet. It still goes through your CSGO investments and investment items, your currently and total, but everything else is basically, besides skin trading, is new. The current inventory breakdown, the breakdown of stickers and containers, those graphs are so much more helpful than knowing what website you bought items are. If you are a buff person, you're a buff user. If you're a CS Money user, you're a CS Money user. It does not matter where you buy it from. Thought these graphs would be a whole lot more helpful as you are looking through your data. So without wasting any more time, that is like the quickest tutorial I could possibly do. I'm going to go in and actually use some of the filters and show you what the spreadsheet looks like on my end now that I've actually added all my data. I test out these spreadsheets before I release them to you guys. So this is the actual spreadsheet I use for all of my information. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on what I actually bought. If you really want to know what my investments are, what my inventory is, just ask. If you guys are that interested, I'll make a video on it. I'm not really worried about that. But in statistics, we were just talking about it. This is my page, so it obviously looks a whole lot nicer than just a pie chart with one color in it, because I actually have a little bit of diversity. But I don't input everything. I don't input what graffitis I own. It's really just the investments or the high-end items that I have that goes in here. But this is what the final page will look like. You'll have your currently invested, total invested, profit, all the different numbers, your amounts, and your current inventory breakdown basically just pulls this table and it sorts it by skins, stickers, containers, and others. So others does have a lot of information in there, but it hits the big 3 and it lumps up the rest of your inventory in there. The 2 numbers you have is the total dollar amount of invested and the percentage of the portfolio. So 51% of my items are currently skins, worth $0. But that's just whatever I paid for it, and that's actually not correct right now, but I probably had some info buying that I put in there wrong. But moving on, we do have the next percentage, and these are right over here with stickers and cases. But my stickers, my breakdown of buying and how much it breaks up, and cases, how much I own compared to capsules. I actually don't own any capsules. This information is right, and I don't spend on cases right now. That's not where I put my investments towards. But my cases have been free. I've gotten so many cases from playing the game. That information is actually correct, believe it or not. I will mention on the skin trading, market is technically optional. Market is technically optional because I removed the website balance section. That created so many issues with the miscellaneous tab that I know people didn't enjoy putting items in the miscellaneous that had nothing to do with CSGO investments. I got rid of it. It was a neat feature, but I don't think I'm going to move forward with it. I don't think that's going to be in any of the future spreadsheet versions. So it is no longer here. But if you want to keep track of that information still, it's not a bad idea. And just note that if you want to use the CSGO skin trading, note that the market is still called trade. Just trade, TRADE. If you wanted to keep track of skin trading just from skin to skin and keep track of that profit, make sure that market for both buy and sell is listed as trade. Getting into some of the filters now. This is my skin table, and it has 100, a little less than 100 columns here, and some of these skins I own, some of them I don't. So the first thing I want to just mention is filters in general for those who do not know how to use them. Just click on the arrows here and you can select all. This is a filter where if I'll go through probably the popular 6 or 7 that I use every single day when I'm going through my inventory essentially, is say you only want to look at skins that are factory new. You click on that, and now every skin that's not factory new is disappeared. It's invisible, hidden for a little bit of time. So this is my factory new inventory. Now you can combine that with another filter. You combine that with float, and we're going to do with floats, and we're going to go to number filters, and we're going to go with floats less than, and you can just type it in over here, 0.03. So I want a factory new with a float less than 0.03. And here we go. Now it removes all the ones that were 0.031 to 0.07. If you also notice, if I just clear this filter really quickly, the clear button, it only shows me skins in this filter section that are factory new. It gets rid of them from that filter. It makes it very easy to navigate into what you're actually using by getting rid of all the minware, field tested, and etc. So that's one of the ones I use a lot when I'm just sorting the float of all my skins. The second one is weapon type. You may realize there is not an actual weapon type column, but all you have to do, and that's why I put my items in exactly from CSGO Stats. You click the drop down, text filters, begins with, and just search AWP. Begins with AWP. These are all the op skins that I've owned. Obviously, some of them I have sold, and I'll get to that in a second. But these are all the op skins, and now you can just sort by op instead of, obviously you can sort if you just wanted to see op Safari meshes, you can do that, and it'll just show you op Safari meshes as well. But sometimes it helps a little bit more just to see a weapon type and not a exclusive skin. Moving on, just another cool type of filter is I'll do stickers, for example, but these work all over, so feel free to just mess around with these filters in your own work. Is blanks, getting rid of the blank columns in case you didn't have information you only wanted to see filled. So say you are a sticker person. I know I said this is odd before, but it is from stickers 1 through 5 left to right, not best to worst position. That's just how I input them. But say you're looking for stickers in position number 1, so typically on the scope of the op or the front of the AK, you want to get rid of the blanks. Now we're going to see only weapons that have a sticker in position number 1. And you can go through them and see, what positions of stickers you have, and however you want to do that, feel free. But that's just a really neat thing. I use it a lot for the stickers, but technically you could use it for sales data, but I would just use the amount left. And, since we're talking about that, you could use for sale data, say you wanted to get rid of blanks. This will only show you the items that you sold. So this is a transaction log of every single item that I sold. And you can scroll over here. This is the profit, so it'll even tell you down here how much I sold them for. But say you didn't want to see the items sold. You want to see the items not sold. You could click through every single one of these. That would take a little while. So if you use your are you reselling or amount left, and you just click amount left 1, these are all the items you still own because you at least have one left. And for skins, this is a lot easier than it is for consumables because you may have 100 and sell 99, but read the tab on the side of the page. It basically you put a Y in here and you start a new entry and it makes that 1 at 0. So this is my current inventory right now. The items that are hidden, I do not own. I sold them for a profit, etc. And finally, as I was alluding to before, kind of calculating the profits, I'll clear the filter here. If you just want to see profits, so we're going to get rid of all the ones that do not have profits, essentially the ones that I did not sell. And this is kind of how you can see how your investments have fared that you've actually sold. So in these investments, I've made $6.85 on this transaction. I made obviously a lot on this one. And you can kind of compare them with the days. So you can also then filter if you wanted to from smallest to largest. Don't know why I got an error there, but probably because I have multiple filters going. But just even comparing them, this I only held for 77 days and I made $2 profit. So nothing special. But this one I held for this long and it just allows for great comparison using these filters to your advantage. So if you don't, and especially my workbook honestly is pretty small, you're going to be scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, and except to any of these lists of buys that I already sold, I don't even own these anymore. You're going to be scrolling a while just to find the one item that you want when you can easily just filter and get what you actually want to see. And for the most part, that is my workbook. That is the workbook that I am publishing today. And if you guys, again, have any questions, any suggestions on the sheet, let me know. I have the comment section. I have my Discord. Feel free to join that. I'm constantly trying to improve this sheet to help you guys. I know it's already version 4.0. It's been years in the making, and I don't want to just release versions for the hell of it. I really do want to put out versions that include features that people are interested in. I do know it's highly sought after updating prices. I don't quite know if I will be releasing that anytime soon just because of the issues that come with those, and you can't use Excel. And I'm a big Excel person, I'm not a Google Sheets person, but is what it is. Maybe it'll come out sometime, but I really like version 4.0. You guys can see that I'm using it. I prefer it over 3.0. I would recommend it, but if there's anything else, definitely let me know down below. And that's gonna be it for this video. Definitely be on the lookout for future videos, and if there's any type of spreadsheets and all that you guys are interested in seeing made, definitely, again, shoot me a message. It can be private if you guys do not want the entire community to see. But peace out, everyone. If you enjoyed the video, please consider liking and subscribing. It does mean a lot. And I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.